Christ College, the Honors College. Previously, they were appointed and served as interim dean for the 2017 to 2018 academic year and has continued in that role since 2021. Dean Broff oversees the college's academic programs, operations, financial and faculty resources, student recruitment, and more. In the email that was sent out, Eric Johnson, Executive Vice President of Academic Affairs, said, "Under his visionary leadership, I expect that Christ College will continue to be a leader in honors education across the country." Prof responded by saying, "I look forward to continuing to work with the Christ College faculty and staff to ensure the continued success of our unique community of learning. I am excited to work alongside the deans and administration to shape the future of Valpo." Dean Prof received their Bachelor of Arts from Valparaiso University and their PhD in Cultural Anthropology from Duke University. During their time here at Valpo, Prof has taught courses related to Japanese culture and media, philosophic questions surrounding advancements in robotics, and first-year program courses.
Student Senate has announced several new updates to campus life at the General Assembly meeting. They started off by swearing in newly elected first-year senators. Then they addressed issues regarding handicap accessibility and trees around campus that were disintegrating and were blocking nearby lights. Next, they approved the golf club to be a new organization. To end the meeting, Senate announced they are planning to use $75,000 in donations from the University Guild to turn the Guild Memorial Courtyard into an outside amphitheater space. If anyone has any issues regarding the campus life that they wish to address, they are encouraged to attend the next General Assembly meeting Monday, October 8th at 8:30 p.m. in the Brown and Gold Room at the Har Union, or to talk to a senator.
On Friday, September 29th, the Valparaiso University Chief of Police Charles P. Garber sent an email to the Valparaiso campus community with the annual security and fire safety report. This report includes statistics about the reported crime in on the Valparaiso University campus and the properties surrounding the campus for the past 3 years. It also details policies related to sexual assault, stalking, campus disciplinary policies, state laws, and more. In the welcome letter of the report, Chief Garber states that the purpose of this report is for individuals to understand safety resources available on campus and to give a glimpse into the efforts of the caring and compassionate people behind these services. The crime statistics in this report detailed information for 2020, 2021, and 2022. These statistics are a representation of the number of people arrested or reported to judicial authorities for various offenses. In 2022, there were 48 reported cases and 1 arrest related to alcohol, 3 offenses related to stalking, and 1 report of burglary, all of which occurred in the residence halls on campus. This report is prepared each year by the Office of the President in collaboration with the Valparaiso University Police Department, Counseling Service, and the Access and Accommodations Resource Center, Student and Residential Life, and the Student Health Center.
Halloween is just around the corner. While there are a lot of frightful events on campus, VUTV 15's Daniel Murphy traveled off campus to discover a haunted experience like no other.
We are here with Stephen Hutchings from Haunted Hills Mansion here in Crown Point, just off of 30. So can you tell us a little bit about what it's like here?
Well, we are a Scream Park here in Northwest Indiana. Basically, the difference between us and a haunted house is we actually have multiple attractions, and we are trying to make it so this is an all-night affair. You come out and you do everything. You get to get your scares from our different attractions. You can get your food from our midway. You can also get, you know, all kinds of cool Halloween goodies to take home with you. So it's kind of a full night experience with everything that's going on.
Awesome. And so what are the 3 main attractions that you have here?
We have Haunted Hills Hospital, which is a 1940s asylum. Basically, kind of things have changed where, you know, the patients have taken over, and you go through kind of the whole thing where first you are brought in as a patient, then you go into treatment, and then you're trying to escape. And then we have the Sick Billy Sideshow, which is our clown attraction. And what that is basically it's the circus after dark, so to speak. So after the lights go out and the clowns are done, they may not be quite as friendly as they would be when, you know, you're getting that balloon and everything. And then our final attraction is the Fear Lab Haunt Experience. And this one kind of is, this one's more, of an experience of your senses and without your sight. So you go in basically in the dark and you have things touching you and you're feeling things and hearing things and smelling things, and you don't really know what it is, but you know what it feels like. So it's more mind over matter. It's not as intense as the main two attractions, and it's not as in your face, but it's definitely a really cool experience that people really enjoy.
For more information, you can visit hauntedhillshauntedattractions.com to buy tickets and see all of their attractions. They are open Friday through Sunday, and as they get closer to Halloween, they will be open on Thursdays. Their final night will be November 4th. This is Daniel Murphy, VUTV 15 News.
We have 15 Weather's Evan Gustafson in the studio. So Evan, how cold is this weekend really supposed to be?
Yeah, so we are definitely not going to be hitting the 80s anytime soon after our last heat wave, probably for the summer. However, we've had just a soaking rain today, but as you can see from our live cam, it is now cleared out. The sun is out, but that should be short-lived. As we go into tomorrow, we're going to get a brief break of the rain. However, we do have another system moving into Friday. And along with that, those temperatures are really going to plummet, where we're looking in about the mid 40s to upper 50s. And next week, as we go into next week, we're looking to dry out again. Current radar across the area for the past 12 hours, you could really see that moisture band just really spreading over all of Indiana into Michigan and Ohio and into even Canada. However, as we're going through tonight, we're going to be at 59. Going into tomorrow, we're going to be at 61 with some showers. And for the rest of that week, we are going to be sitting in the low 50s.
Wow, it looks like it's going to get a lot cooler in this area. I can't wait to see those fall temperatures swing in action.
Me too. I guess I got to start bringing out those pants. Thanks, Evan. Coming up, we'll take a look at your Valpo sports.
But first, thousands of healthcare workers are on strike. Stick with us.
The U.S. House of Representatives is in uncharted territory, and work can't get done until a new speaker is elected. What does that mean for Americans beyond Capitol Hill? Karen Kaifa is in Washington with the latest.
8 House Republicans standing by their votes to remove Kevin McCarthy as House Speaker and grind congressional business to a halt.
There's a lot of angry people, but I would submit to you, when we get a new leadership in, we're going to be just fine.
The current interim speaker can perform limited functions like recess, adjournment, and preside over the vote for a new permanent speaker, but legislation cannot move.
You can't actually legislate on the House floor right now, so this effectively has frozen the country.
With a new deadline to fund the federal government a little more than 6 weeks away, even some Senate Republicans are concerned about the lower chamber.
To my colleagues in the House, follow your heart, but take your brain with you.
A vote on a new speaker is at least 1 week away, and some House Republicans don't want to see it drawn out.
Having our House adjourned when we should be putting appropriation bills on the floor and getting this country back up and running doesn't help anyone.
A long fight could also unsettle Wall Street. Last week, Moody's warned a government shutdown could prompt it to downgrade U.S. debt, a move that can dent the entire U.S. economy. With a shutdown threat averted last weekend, another looms on November 17th. Democrats watching closely.
A lot of work to be done. We need to move quickly and get this resolved from the chaos in the Republican caucus.
In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
Right now, a historic strike is underway. Tens of thousands of Kaiser permanent health care workers have walked off the job in several states. Mike Valerio has the latest.
What do we want? Safe staffing. When do we want it? Now.
The largest healthcare workers strike in United States history kicking off Wednesday morning, with more than 75,000 unionized Kaiser Permanente workers walking off the job and walking onto the picket lines.
We have a crisis inside, a staffing crisis that affects us and subsequently affects our patients.
I've seen patients die because of the short staffing, and they wanted us to be quiet about it, and I'm not being quiet anymore.
More money in our debt.
The coalition of Kaiser Permanente unions calling for better pay and better staffing, saying in their notification statement to the company that if a deal isn't made by the end of the strike on Saturday, quote, we are prepared to engage in another longer, stronger strike in November.
We have made many proposals to try to solve the Kaiser short staffing, and right now the Kaiser executives are much more interested in their bottom line than providing high quality patient care.
With about 40% of its staff on strike, Kaiser Permanente says it has contingency plans in place so it can continue to provide safe, high-quality care for its 12.7 million members and patients. A spokesperson for the company saying, quote, we have detailed continuity plans in place in all of these markets that include the use of non-represented and management staff along with contingency workers. In addition, all of our physicians will be available. In Los Angeles, I'm Mike Valerio.
Here is some food for thought. At least that's what has come to mind after NASA released new images of Pan, a moon that orbits Saturn. NASA posted the photos on its Instagram page and asked people if the moon's unique shape resembled some common foods like ravioli or an empanada. The Cassini spacecraft captured photos of Saturn's innermost moon 6 years ago, and we are getting our first glimpse of the oddly shaped celestial body. Scientists say Pan has a prominent ridge along its equator, and that gives the moon its distinctive shape.
Coming up after the break, we have Evan Gustafson. We'll be back with your forecast.
And we'll take a look at Valpo sports happening from this past week. Stick with us.
It has been a soaker going through today, and some much needed rain has been developed across the area. However, looking at our past 12 hours, you can see an influx of moisture just spreading right over Indiana, into Michigan and Ohio, and eventually up into Canada. However, you can easily identify a cold front that's pushing well off to our east at this point, and we should be dry for the rest of today. Looking at our live look, you can see that widespread sun now. However, this might be short-lived as we have a brief break of that rain, but we do have another system moving in at the end of the work week. Along with that, we have temperatures plummeting, and once that passes through, as we go into next week, we will be back on the dry side. Future radar, we're seeing that those clouds just push off to our east. However, by Friday at 7 a.m., you can easily see that next system moving into Illinois and eventually our area. And by tomorrow afternoon, we will be seeing those widespread or scattered showers, not so widespread as it was today. And as we go throughout Friday night, you see those lake effect showers off into western Michigan. However, we should stay more on the drier side. And speaking of drier, looking at future rainfall, we're only looking at about 0.02 of an inch, a little bit more rain up by the Kalamazoo, Benton Harbor area. However, we should stay a lot more dry than today. Future temperatures with that cold front, you can see those temperatures just really start to plummet, hitting 63. But then as we go into Saturday, you really almost need to bring out that jacket / winter coat, as we're going to be in the low to mid 40s, even colder out in northern Illinois. And those temperatures will just stick around into tonight. We're going to be about 59 with partly cloudy skies. And going into tomorrow, we'll be staying more on the drier side. However, we will have those clouds start to move in, along with those rain showers sitting about the low 60s. And as we go into our 7-day forecast, you see that system pushing into the end of our work week. And then by Sunday and the beginning of we'll start to dry out.
I'm going to miss those 80s weather. I'm going to have to bring out that coat, bring out those pants, just starting to bring out that winter stuff.
I know, it looks like Evan's going to make me go through my closet this weekend. Well, after the break, we'll take a look at this past week's sports.
Transitioning to national news, the Yellowwood 500 took place at Talladega Super Speedway last Sunday. We know at Talladega anything can happen, and this was a wild race from start to finish. Under caution of Stage 2, the 54 Monster Energy car, Ty Gibbs, started a fire on pit road after leaving the pit box, with the fuel can dragging from behind. At the start of Stage 3, with 32 laps to go, cars were 3 and 4 wide before numerous cars wrecked in the back, including the number 6 car of Brad Glazowski, who was cut from playoff running. And at the end, it was too wide up until the final flag, but Ryan Blaney, the number 12, pushed the 4 of Kevin Harvick aside to take the checkered flag by 12 one-thousandths of a second as cars wrecked behind them. After a post-race inspection, Harvick was deemed disqualified and William Bryan took home second place. A little close to home, NASCAR is additionally set to return to the Windy City July 6th and 7th next year for the Chicago Street Race. Can't English today. The race occurred over $8 million with half of the attendees outside of Illinois. You can sign up to get notifications on tickets, festivals, and schedule times at NASCARchicago.com.
Wow, what an interesting week for NASCAR. I see they did reveal their schedule for next year, and they'll be coming back to the Windy City. I can't wait to look forward to that in July. And then going off of sports, we finally got our first win. How exciting.
Yeah, it was a real struggle bus Saturday at Brownfield.
And you know, the one thing about October is it's almost basketball season. That's going to be coming up sooner than we think.
Can't wait for basketball season to be back.
Coming up, we'll have a final look at your 7-day forecast.
Looking at our 7-day forecast, we'll see we're not quite done with that rain yet. However, by next week, we're going to be drying out, but I am seeing a couple 30s as those temperatures are really going to cool off.
Thank you, Evan, for the weather update. Well, I have a question this week for you guys. What is the type of soup that you like when it comes to the colder weather?
I have to say, just good old chicken noodle soup. Like, just give me chicken noodle, watch it in the snows fall. There's nothing better.
Chicken noodle is really good. Loaded baked potato soup is also really good.
That's very true.
I second the chicken noodle soup.
Yeah. I was going to say the same thing. Well, I guess chicken noodle soup wins here.
It's good. It's good.
From all of us at VUTV, thank you for joining us this evening.